Hello, I'm Dennis Schwartz, Design Director for Hunt Showdown. Today we are going to talk about our design goals for some of the subtle and substantial game mechanics changing with our August launch. We will be touching on trait changes, reducing stalemates, as well as changes to our gunplay formula. Let us start easy. We are bringing back Witness as a regular trait for everyone to equip in the menu for 5 upgrade points. Witness allows you to see nearby dead hunters and recently deceased monsters in Darkside. We are reorganizing the existing trait categories for a more interesting mix of traits and how players can acquire them. No longer are there only regular and burn traits. Instead, some traits will get the burn or scarce attributes, or both.
Okay, so there's two different statuses for traits you find. They can either be scarce or burn traits. Back to Witness, I'm really glad this is coming to the game because there's often so many times where your fight's done and it takes you like 5-10 minutes, even more, to try find a body, so that'll be super nice. Beetle view as well, if you're trying to get like a bird's eye sort of angle, like from top down. Oh yeah, Vulture went down to 2 points, true. Happy about Witness coming back though, or coming back to the game, but especially being an actual trait you can use.
Dead hunters and recently deceased monsters in Darkside. We are reorganizing the existing trait categories for a more interesting mix of traits and how players can acquire them. No longer are there only regular and burn traits. Instead, some traits will get the burn or scarce attributes.
Burn or scarce. Or both. Oh, I think if it's both, that means it's a one-time use, right? Like there's no stack.
Scarce traits can only be found in the world and cannot be equipped from the menu with upgrade points. Shadow and the returning Shadow Leap are both examples of scarce traits that are not burn traits and remain on your hunter until you're defeated.
I think when Shadow Leap came to the game, everyone was like, oh man, this is going to be broken. But as the event went on, less people were using Shadow Leap, so that'll be cool to use again.
Guess what? You're now where he was.
Also, I think he mentions it, but you can't use it to kill meatheads anymore, because that was just way too easy. But yeah, when you find these, they stay on your hunter.
Remain on your hunter until you're defeated or fail to extract safely. Shadow Leap has been adjusted to no longer work for leaping into meatheads as a balancing node.
It was cool though. Be like some scene from The Boys or something, like meatheads exploding. Whoa, what did I just see? Did you guys see that?
Most of our existing burn traits are now both burn and scarce traits, keeping them consistent with how they worked so far. Red.
I wonder if there's any other traits that have changed. Adrenaline needs something. Adrenaline has been the same for a long time. No one picks it. Skin's 3. Is it always 3? Witness 5 right there. Nice. Cool art for the trait.
To find and short-lived, being consumed after they fulfilled their special purpose. However, we have adjusted some of their stack sizes. For example, you can now only keep a single instance of Death Cheat on your hunter at a time, while Remedy, Relentless, and Rampage can still be held up to 3 times each. This leads us to our first newly modified trait, Necromancer. Necromancer is now a single-use burn trait with a stack size of 1, which costs 4 upgrade points.
Okay, so you buy this from the menu as usual. It costs 4 points, but if it's used once, it's gone. So that means it's 1 self-res. You can't do it multiple times anymore. You only get 1 chance. If I'm reading this right, I don't think you need resilience anymore. It triggers a full health restoration.
It also no longer drains your health when attempting to revive a downed teammate. What does this mean for solo hunters? Solo hunters using Necromancer receive a single restoration of all their health chunks as they get back up, but they can only attempt to get up a single time as Necromancer is now burned on use. The cooldown for self-revive has been reduced slightly as a balancing step. The cooldown for self-revive has been reduced slightly as a balancing step.
Oh, slightly. So by default right now it's 10 seconds, right? So slightly, maybe 7 seconds? As a way to sort of balance this new change, I think. Honestly, I'm fine with it. Back in the old days of Hunt, you could not even res yourself once, so you get a res and full health. That's fine with me. I think for like content creators, it might be not as entertaining. But if this is better for the general player base, then you know, I'm all for it. I think a lot of people have complained about self-res for the longest time.
Over the last year, we have
Yeah,
introduced...
that is true. Like, once people see you self-res once, it's pretty much over anyway, so... I think a lot of these changes are to keep the game flow going and to, you know, not have people wasting time.
Used more ways for players to get back into the fight after being downed. These changes have had a positive impact overall, but have over the last year, we have introduced more ways for players to get back into the fight after being downed. These changes have had a positive impact overall, but have also introduced many points of frustration and contributed to stalemate situations. Having reflected on your feedback and the available data, we are making adjustments to burning and revive mechanics to reduce stalemates and bring more decisive closure to player versus player fights. The previously mentioned adjustments to Necromancer sit at the heart of this change in direction and are complemented by a much faster burn rate to fully burn out a downed hunter. We appreciate and want to emphasize the play and counterplay of burning and choke effects. We now have choke bombs, beetles and bolts available for players for tactical use, but we are limiting the duration of choke
down
clowns
to 1
half
minute.
the previous duration. This is a deliberate...
Yeah, his pin is really cool actually, chain pistol pin. But any of these changes to help the game flow, like, you know, help the game flow actually flow, all good with me.
Deliberate change to reduce the 2 minutes of just waiting out the choke cloud before making the next
2 minutes
counter
down
move
to
and
1
fight.
minute.
We are aware of the controversy surrounding everything to do with reviving, restoring, burning, choking, and generally stalling out the player versus player fights. Our core philosophy here is to provide mechanics for capitalizing on the advantage of taking down 1 or 2 members of an opposing team, but still have room for clutch counterplay and tactics to get your own team back in the fight without dragging out into overly long waiting games. As always, we ask you to keep an open mind to the changes and look forward to seeing how loadouts, tactics, and fight times play out in a live environment, as well as survey opinions collected as we go forward.
I mean, no one likes waiting around for super long. I feel like people just want to, you know, get things done. But let's see here. So many ways to burn. It's just an instant burn no matter what. You will auto be down to 50 health. Feel like more people will just leave. We'll take some time getting used to. I think this will make the game slower. Instant burning punishes aggressive players who die in awkward positions. It might be easier to play far than defensively. That is true. We'll see though, you know, nothing's set in stone. But I am happy about, you know, keeping the game flow going and not just having these situations where people are just waiting around. So wait, the Necro for teams is better. So the team Necro got a buff, but for solos it got worse. That's the tough thing though, is I think they want that balance of a fun game with good flow, with not as many stalemates, but at the same time being sort of still immersive and not super fast.
Gameplay topics, we are happy to announce that the centered crosshair will be available as the default setting for new players. A lowered crosshair
this one's
option remains
huge.
available for players who prefer or are more accustomed to that position. The lack of a centered crosshair has long been cited as a barrier to entry for players transitioning from
It's
other
been
first-person
6 years. And type a 1 in the chat if you're gonna go centered. This is huge. There's like tons of like big time streamers and stuff who would be like, oh man, I wish this game had a centered crosshair. And that for some reason actually stopped them from playing it. So I'll definitely try it and we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm close to 10,000 hours on a lower crosshair, so centered might be easier to see traps. You definitely see more of your gun. See more of your hand and your
barrier
gun.
to entry for players transitioning from other first-person shooters into Hunt. And with the August launch, it will now be
That is true, you do see more of the ground. Maybe I need that, so I step in traps all the time.
first-person shooters into Hunt.
No, it's
and with
slightly
the August
lowered.
launch, it will now be available for them to consider trying Hunt again, as well as to more effectively onboard players joining us for the first time.
Oh yeah.
We are applying a subtle
I know some people are not happy about this. But let's just read this real quick. Past this range meters, the weapon's projectile will begin to drop, requiring aim adjustments to compensate. So, you know, aiming above the target. And maybe in front of the target, if they're a moving object. Let's see. The faster a bullet is moving, the less it'll drop, yes. Compact ammo weighs the least, and has the flattest curve, while long ammo weighs the most and will drop rapidly. Interesting. Faster custom ammo, like Spitzer, will drop less than basic ammo of that type.
Oh, no.
Okay, so yeah, there might be some more Spitzer out there.
drop to projectiles at longer distances based on ammo types and weapon characteristics such as action type and barrel lengths.
I guess they've removed the headshot range stat, right? Because a headshot from any gun will kill. Hard martini nerf. You know, the strange thing about that is I'm fine with that because I feel like I've been playing the same sort of version of Hunt for so long that it'd be even more rewarding to hit like a long shot that you have to aim above with.
At extreme ranges, players will now require a bit more skill, judgment, and timing to land those perfect shots.
Drop range 15. Damn, so beyond 50 meters, you gotta start aiming above the head. Oh shit, yeah, the uppercut. Ooh, yeah, you can't really be using the uppercut as a ranged weapon as well as we could. It's still gonna be good, but you're just gonna have to learn
Judgment and timing to land those perfect shots. While it becomes harder to hit the targeted range, we are also ensuring that any headshot will always be lethal at every range, making those kills even more rewarding. This notable change greatly mixes up
50 meters is crazy because that's the one tap range for like a Romero. That's really close. So it's almost like the uppercut's bullet is like a fat break that just pops out.
weapon balance and the established meta, and we cannot be more excited for you to try all this out yourselves in August. While we expect speculation or opinions to run rampant with this news, can be assured, sentiment, data, and surveys will as always be the key measures we look at when considering the best course of action.
But yeah, no more soft headshots. You know, any headshot you get will be a headshot, so it will be interesting to learn a new skill with this game. I don't know, I'm excited for it because it's different. You know, it's almost like it's a new game in a way.
We will be back
so
soon with more topics around our big August launch. Follow our social channels for new videos and updates.
And also, you know, they're super active with the community. It may not be set in stone. They're going to adjust things. So, you know, we'll see where it goes. So after 15 meters, the bullet will start to drop. So you'll have to aim a little higher when your target's at 15 meters or more. My brain's starting to melt. This is a lot of information. But I think in general, like when it comes to compound fights, I think it's still going to be very similar. But when you're shooting beyond that range, I think that's when you're going to have to start aiming above your targets. But we'll see. We'll see. They might change things. Damage 123. Ah, so if you're down a small bar, you will survive. Honestly, that's a good change to me. It's a small slot weapon. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more high velocity bullets. A lot more Spitzer. But at least now, you don't have to worry as much for, you know, sniper KD farmers. You can't wait to suddenly be much worse at this game. Well, here's the thing is, it's everyone. Everyone's going to be worse. So, yeah. Yeah, they're trying to make it so that, you know, the pistol is a weapon used for pistol range. Rifles used for rifle range. But yeah, it's a good time to prestige as well. If you missed the other video, there's like a bunch of rewards that are coming too. Big changes. Big changes. I'm just really happy there's communication from Hunt. Like, it's been quiet for a while and I was nervous, but they're busting out these videos, keeping us all updated on what's happening. So I'm glad there's the communication. That's really important.